Hello and welcome to today's topic. My name is Nancy Ramai Selemunya. I am a certified Kemetic yoga and meditation teacher. I'm also the founder of Raya Kemetic Yoga, which offers online yoga classes as well as meditation sessions. The details will be provided later on. Today I wanted to talk about the mind. How do you deal with all of that your mind is processing? How do you come out of a cycle that has been keeping you down? Anxiety, depression, any negative thoughts that you've been stuck with and you're wondering, how do I come out of this cycle? Today is your lucky day because this is what I want to discuss. This is what I want to talk about today. We all go through difficult life challenges, and sometimes we find ourselves in a pit. We find ourselves in a situation or in a life cycle where we're just not able to break out of. So I've got some notes with me just so I remember what I'm discussing at what point, and also because this is going to be a summarized version and I want to get straight to the point and make sure you get the information that you need. So number one, how do you manage anxiety and depression, especially using yoga and meditation? One of the things that I'm going to look at is how the mind works. The mind is always processing information. It does not need you to do anything. It works 24/7. And sometimes, if you pay close attention, you'll realize it's even producing images of things that you have no idea of. It's giving you pictures that does not come from anything that you know of, not even memories that you can remember, and yet it's processing. And this is where the problem begins. Your mind processes and takes everything through the brain, which then you're experiencing. So as your mind is processing, your brain receives it. Now you're experiencing your mind or your mental energetic processes through the mind as well as through your body. So mentally and physically. And if what you are processing is negative or toxicity, you then create a cycle because your mind processes, you receives it, you feel it, and your mind is going to process what you are feeling. So you are recreating that cycle, and this is how we get locked up in that negative thought cycle, or that feeling down or feeling anxious and feeling depressive, not being able to come out of it, because it is all connected from the mind to the body. So the cycle is repetitive, and it can be positive, it can be negative. But right now we're looking at how to come out of that negative cycle. How then does the body react to what your mind is processing? How do you react to those experiences you're receiving from the mental processes? It can manifest in ailments. There's a lot of chemical, hormonal, as well as cellular changes happening within your body. And you will see that in how you lose energy. You will feel lethargic. You won't feel motivated to do anything, as well as feeling sick. So you will actually have physical ailments, from headaches to sicknesses that will need a medical doctor. And in meditation and yogic terms, we always talk about how everything is energy. All ailments within the body are a blockage of energy. And when the energy is blocked, you will experience certain ailments within the body. And this is the same way with mental processes. When you are experiencing toxicity, you are spreading it throughout your body, and you will experience it as an ailment. So as you are processing it and experiencing it, you're going to process it again, and then you will experience it. So again, you are reinforcing what your mind is creating because you are feeling it. We always say everything is mental. It starts from a thought. Sometimes it's not your thought. It's got nothing to do with what you know or any information or knowledge that you've acquired, or at least you're not aware of acquiring it. So it's just creating. And as you're experiencing it and you do not have an outlet of letting go of that toxicity, you are then reinforcing the mind and you are telling it that which is creating and processing is actually real. And that is how we create our reality. And this is why it's very important to be able to identify those negative self thoughts or those negative traits and toxic thoughts, so that you have an outlet, you create an outlet on how to let them out. Otherwise, they become you. They will make you sick and they will take away your energy. And every single day, you will struggle. You won't understand. Why do I feel low? Why do I not feel motivated? Why do I lack so much energy? Why do I feel sick? It doesn't matter how much medication I'm taking. I'm not getting any better. Why is that? How do we come out of this cycle? The very first thing, as a yoga teacher, I will definitely recommend yoga. But the most important thing is movement. It doesn't matter what exercise you are doing. Just move. Move the energy. You can run, do boxing, Pilates, go hiking. Just get up and move. One of the things I love about yoga is, as you are moving, you are controlling your breath. And the control of the breath is what is essential to reducing the mental processes, especially in the beginning. You won't be able to completely stop your thought processes, but you will be able to reduce the speed at which you are creating stuff in your mind. So while going through your yoga postures or yoga asanas, you are controlling your breath, you are slowing down the mind, and you're becoming aware of your physical body. When you are in the body, you are not in the mind. You cannot be in two places at once. Not physically, not energetically. So when your mind stops processing, or at least has slowed down, you now become aware of the body. And this is where to be. This is how we live in the moment, by being here in the physical body. And this helps you heighten your awareness. As you practice on a regular, you become aware of how you are feeling. You will notice any energetical blockages. You will notice where the pain is. And you will realize you are actually creating a different reality, slowly but surely. When you are done with your yoga practice, or any kind of exercise for that matter, your energy levels go up. If I have to go through all the mental processes, how the mind works, how the brain works, that is just going to be way too long, and I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not even a scientist, I'm a yoga teacher. So I love simplifying things because I want information to get to the people and I want the people to be able to use it. Remember that cycle? Now that you are feeling more energetic, maybe slightly energetic, especially in the beginning, you are aware of your body. You are in the present moment. What you are doing is you are giving your brain new information to process. You're giving your mind new things to process. And as that happens, you receive it and experience it through your brain and then back into your body, and you're now creating a new cycle of positivity. You still have some days or some moments even throughout the day where you're experiencing your anxious feelings or your depressive thoughts. And again, remember, anxiety is worrying about things that have not happened. Depression is worrying about things that have happened in the past. You cannot change either of these moments in life. They don't exist. The only time that is real is the now. So while you're doing your yoga or your exercise and you are focusing in the body, you are living in the now. And you are denying your mind, because Memories and plans only exist in the mind, not in the body. So when you are slowing down your mind, you are denying it the ability to process memories as well as make plans for the future. And over time, when you are not thinking about the past and you are not planning for the future, you learn to be here in the now, in the physical, in the present moment. And you become aware of that good feeling that is within you. And your mind picks it up, processes it, you receive it, and you continue with that cycle. And before you know it, there is a change. We say it takes about 21 days to have a routine or to become used to something new. And it takes about 90 days to have a lifestyle or to form a new lifestyle. So use the 21-90 rule. And after 21 days, you will realize, I'm feeling much better. And 90 days later, you won't even be thinking about it because you would have become that which you were doing every single day. So by feeling it, you are thinking it. It's in your mind. And all is mental, and therefore you will reinforce that cycle of positivity. And that's how you bring change into your life. But again, we all know how difficult it is to stay motivated when you're doing something new. You'd ask yourself, how do I stay focused? How do I not lose the motivation to keep going? You know, you do something for 7 days, you feel the speed, and on day 8, you're just like, yeah, I'm going to do it the next day, and then you don't do it. But how do you stay doing it? Record your wins. Record those joyful moments. Record your progress. Keep those happy journals. We always talk about journaling, like take out every single thing that is painful, right? Take out your journal and write down all the stressful moments. Write down everything that is bothering you so that it goes out, which is really great. But sometimes we forget. We can actually stay stuck with those things that we are feeling. If you're writing down every negativity or toxicity, trying to remove it out of you, but then you look at it, you think about it, you're only going to recreate that feeling. The same way we write about our problems, now write about those beautiful moments, write about those joys, those happiness, those goals you're achieving. They might be small, right? They might be small. I always said, I love taking pictures and videos of what I'm doing, especially in the beginning of a new journey. I take them, I keep them, I go through them. As I see myself progress over time, I become even more motivated because I can see what I was in the beginning and how much progress I've made and how different I feel and I look. This is the very first tip. While you're doing your meditations or while you're doing your yoga and your exercises, because this is where we still are, keep record of that. People might say it's bragging, especially in the world of social media. People are bragging, they're putting everything out there. You don't have to put it out there. Just take it and look at it. Share it with close people. You know, just that feeling of joy that you get from seeing what you've done. Oh, I did it. I look much better. Right? You are creating feelings of happiness. You are igniting and activating chemicals and hormones within you that creates that feeling of joy, that feeling of contentment, that feeling of, yes, I did it, that feeling of achievement. Do that. Keep on changing those hormones. Keep on changing those chemicals. We all know how it feels to think about something terrible, right? You think about the thing that you did that you really didn't like. Think about it more and see how you feel. Worry about the things that are supposed to happen next year or next week or even tomorrow. Keep on worrying about them. See how that feels. Now, how about looking at what you are doing now? How much you are achieving? Keep doing that and see how you're feeling. What you focus on grows. Always. It doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. Now let's go back. You've been doing your movements. You are feeling much more energetic. You are still feeling a little bit down sometimes, anxious at times, or even depressive. But you are feeling much better. And you begin to realize there is you, there is the body, and then there is this mind. The mind that is processing everything. It does not require information to be given to it. It will find it and it will process. When you are aware, you realize there is something that is aware. It's not your mind, because you are aware of your mind. The mind can be aware of itself. You are aware of your body, how it feels. It can't be the body, because the body cannot be aware of itself. You then realize you are aware of all of these things. The body, the vessel that you were in, the mind, the tool or the computer that processes all the time. This is where meditation now comes in, to help yourself not only stay with your practice, but to now take over your mind. Remember, it's slowed down, right? It still has the potential to go back to craziness. It still has the potential, because it's churning at all the time. 24 hours, it's going on. It's processing, which means it can still process negativity. The slightest bit of toxicity, just a drop, and the mind can pick it up and process it over time. Especially because we are not islands, we are experiencing difficulties every single day of our lives, some of which we have no control over. Right? Unless you become a hermit, then you have no issues whatsoever. You are in your cave and you are kind of safe. But when you're living among people, you've got jobs, you've got families, you've got children, you've got business, you've got aspirations. A little bit of negativity can then spread. Imagine dropping a bit of ink in a glass of milk. It begins to spread. So meditation becomes essential at this point. You are now able to focus on the physical. You are now aware of the mind as it slows down. Then your breathing exercises, your breath work is going to help you slow it down even more, but actually help you take it over. You will become in charge of what your mind is processing. You will become in charge of what you focus on that your mind is processing. So you will choose, like flipping through a book. Your mind is processing page 2, you're like, nah, I don't want to look at that. Page 8, oh, maybe I can look at that for just a second. And then you flip it. Page 20, like, okay, I like this one. Let me stay with it so I can actually manifest it, so I can actually create it in my reality. And you stay with it. Then you repeat it. Right? You get to page 31 and you don't like it, just flip it. And over time you realize you're actually mastering this thing. You will become a master of your own life. You become a master of your own reality. Nothing is happening to you. You are making it happen. Again, remember, everything is mental. So when you're aware of what's happening here, you get to choose which one is useful to you, which one is beneficial to you, and you stick with it. And you discard everything else that is not necessary, because a whole lot of things is happening within our minds that is not necessary. It's all dreams, it's all memories, it's all worries about the future. They are not here. They can't change. They will have an effect in your present because you're allowing them. But if you let them go, they have absolutely no power, because only the present moment exists. Now that you're in meditation, it's not going to be easy. It's not like, oh, I've become very good at meditation and boom, everything is magic. Life doesn't work like that. You will still face challenges, but you now have the tools to deal with those challenges. And sometimes you would wonder, what is meditation? How do I actually do it? I mean, movement is much more easier. You can just do yoga, do Pilates, go running, just put on your running shoes and go there, go riding, go ride a bike, right? That is much easier because you are using the body. And over time, the body becomes familiar with movement and it's not so difficult. But meditation is one thing where a lot of people get confused. What is it? Do I just sit in a corner and be quiet? That can be very difficult and actually very bad. Because sitting in a corner, you might actually start processing those things you're trying to run away from. Meditation is the control of your breath and bringing in awareness. Many people would say meditation is being aware and being conscious. You really can't be aware if you don't know how to control your mind. You can't control the mind because the mind is just a computer that processes all the time. So how do you do it? Breath work. The rate at which you breathe will always affect the rate at which your mind is churning. So that is what we call meditation. And it will be very challenging in the beginning because your mind is used to processing. And it will fight you. It will try to find things to process. That is why earlier on I said, you're going through pages in a book. There will always be pictures and pages and sounds and feelings and a whole lot of other stuff. You see them, you notice them, you don't pay them any attention. This is what meditation is, especially in the beginning. You see them and you do nothing about them. If you see them and you say, oh, I'm not focusing, you've already lost the mind. You see them, you're like, no, I don't want to see that. You have already lost the mind. You see them, look at them, and say, I don't need that. And let it go. Don't allow it to change anything within yourself. And don't judge yourself. Don't self-judge. Feeling like, oh, I'm not doing it correctly. There isn't anything like that. I'm not doing it correctly. Except, of course, when you're doing very advanced forms of meditation that could physically hurt you. But when you are just in the beginning level where you slow down your breathing and you are here, just listening to how your body feels. And over time, feeling those tinglings in your fingers, in your toes, and you realize, oh, I'm here in the body. Right? When you were there and the mind is doing whatever, hi mind, and keep going. Stay there. Right? Stay there. It'll give you things you have to do. Oh, I gotta do that. So there's always time. There's always time. Just be here in the moment. So this is how we come out of the cycle of toxicity, the cycle of negativity, where you wake up in the morning, you feel lethargic. Very early in the morning, you have got no energy whatsoever, and you don't understand it. I had a good night's sleep. I slept 10 hours. Then why do I feel this way? Right? And sometimes you have to take 50 cups of coffee a day, or you need 3 cups of green tea a day, and you realize this is really not good. Of course, sometimes we need a cup of green tea. I love myself a cup of green tea. I love myself a cup of coffee. But if you need them to function, then that's a problem. If you need them just to be able to get through the day, that's a problem. You're not the only one. We all go through them. But we need those tools. We need these tools that I'm talking about today to be able to go through your day in a much better way. Especially with what we are seeing right now with the results or the effects of anxiety and depression. Self-harming, suicide, harming others. There's a whole lot of toxicity that is all over, that is all around us. And the environment is also going to affect us. We have our own experiences, and the environment is going to add on to that. So the tools help us to manage this. If you can manage, not control, just manage what you are, what you are feeling, how you are processing, experiencing life, Anything else that happens outside of you has no power to shift you. It will come, but you'll be able to deal with it because you've become much, much stronger. So thank you for taking time to listen and be here with me. These are the tips that I really wanted to share, the tools I wanted to share that they've worked for me. And just because I'm a yoga teacher doesn't mean I don't experience this life problems. I do have days where I just want to stay in the blankets. I let myself sometimes do it, but if it happens for far too long, then I remember my tools: movement and meditation. I hope you find this useful and you are able to add some movement into your life. Get up, get out there, do something, and remember to keep track of those joys, those progresses, those happy moments. And go out there, do something that you love, because that is also part of your progress. When you are able to do something that brings that love and that joy, that happiness within yourself, again, you're going to create more of it. So go out there and do that, and I'll see you in the next one.